80 years ago, we have experienced something that we never thought was possible, something that we never deemed would be even remotely, in a sense, possible. We created the atomic bomb. During World War II, we were suffering pretty much after the bombing of Pearl Harbor that Japan done to us. So we decided to aim back at them. And unfortunately, in doing so, we created one of the world's most devastating weapons. Humanity had deemed it a mistake for what we have done at the time by dropping the atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima. I bring this up because the anime I'm reviewing today had to kind of revolve around Japan during World War II, which is based on a true story that actually did happen. And I'm here to warn people right now because this kind of deals with kids in wartime and also with children's death. If you are not comfortable with this, I wouldn't feel bad if you clicked off the video or came back when you're ready because we have quite a story to tell. And this is one of the most critically acclaimed Studio Ghibli films, and this is also one of the most critically acclaimed animated films of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Grave of the Fireflies. Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Ladies Universe and White Nudie, and yet today we will be checking out the critically acclaimed 1998 animated movie Grave of the Fireflies. So if nobody has seen this movie yet, spoilers. Please do enjoy the following review of Grave of the Fireflies, but just be forewarned that there might be some spoilers for people who haven't seen it yet, so please go and watch Grave of the Fireflies and then come back and watch this review. Grave of the Fireflies is based on a book that had never had an English adaptation as far as I know, and the book was written by Akiyuki Naotaka, I hope I pronounced that right, and he actually based it on a real life event that actually happened to him. The film is not directed or handled by Hayao Miyazaki, but instead his animation company. The directing style goes to Isao Takahata. And now the director and writer of the movie has a close relationship to this film that you need to go and watch for yourself. But the book is based upon an actual man's adventures going through the war and, of course, losing somebody very, very close and special to him during the process. I can't remember if it was his own sister or brother, and he kind of felt guilty for surviving during this whole thing. From what I can tell you, Takahata was very inspired by the story and he actually wanted to do this movie that we're talking about today. I have here the steelbook version of this. It's come with the DVD and Blu-ray with chock full of bonus features and whatnot. And I finally wanted to check this movie out, and now we're actually going to do so. And there's kind of a lot to cover, and one thing I kind of have to bitch about with the movie that I think everybody has, but I have to show it too. So, with that all said and done, let's dive back to 1998 and kind of relish in the 80 years of the atomic bomb dropping, since there is a kind of a reference to it in the movie. And I have to give warnings again that this is a dark movie. If you're expecting this to be like Kiki Delivery Service, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, Ponyo, this isn't. So, again, warning you, this is a very, very fucking dark film. So, with that all said and done, let's talk about Grave of the Fireflies. The film was based around a little sister and a big brother, Sasuke and Seta, to be specific, as they're trying to survive during the World War II era of Japan, as they have to deal with all the trouble that comes in their way. They're only children, and yet they're going through one of the worst wars that the world has ever experienced. What makes it worse is that their mother did not survive one of the firebomb droppings. She had third-degree burns, and unfortunately for both of them, their mother died. The film reminds us of the togetherness that these two have, that Zeta and Sasuke have, is that they're basically together forever through better or worse. And eventually things get even worse with their aunt, as their aunt basically, in a sense, abuses them and uses them and also berates them continuously. のベントと一日中ブラブラしとるあんたらとなんで同じ思うの？セータさんな、あんたも大きい。 So eventually Setsuke and Saito go against their aunt and basically buy things that they need and do things that they want to and say screw her. But just like with any war film, you of course have to know that things get worse, and you eventually have to know that pretty soon one child is not going to survive. As eventually Saito realizes that maybe his idea, maybe his intentions, as good as they were not always what he intentionally had planned them to be. He's just a kid, had no idea how to take care of his sister, had no idea how to really take care of himself, but yet he's trying, but at the same time struggling. But the film really hands in the message when unfortunately something does happen, and sorry to spoil it, but unfortunately something happens to Sasuke, as she drove deeper and deeper into her malnourishment, and to the point where it finally caught up with her. And then, you know what happens. So when the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, Saito couldn't believe himself. He couldn't believe that this happened, and so he becomes angry and frustrated. Until this day, he looked up to his father as if he was his hero. But then when the great empire of Japan surrendered, he began to hate him. Now, in case if you're thinking that this will come into play later, that he would kind of like hallucinate to see his father, and that his father would, come back and basically be like, oh, it wasn't my fault, or maybe he would like hallucinate and see the ghost of his father. That doesn't happen either. But there's one thing that you have to go into Grave of the Fireflies with, and it's the one thing that destroyed this movie, at least for me. I did enjoy it. It's a very, very enjoyable movie with great animation and an amazing cast of characters and wonderful, wonderful, beautiful music. I want the soundtrack to this movie, to be sincere. But there is one thing that I cannot go through this review without talking about. One thing that I do have to spoil in case if anyone is going to see this movie, and I'm sorry to do it, but every other review I've seen of this movie did it too. So you're probably wondering, if Sasuke, died, then what happened to Saito? What exactly happened? Or Setsuke? I think I kept calling her Sasuke in this. I'm sorry, Setsuke. She died. Then what exactly happened to Saito? Well, there's a reason I didn't show you the beginning of this movie. Yeah, I didn't show you the beginning. I just showed you bits and pieces here and there. Because at the beginning, well, Saito's already dead. I'm not kidding. We open up on Saito's ghost, and then we know that, yeah, this kid's already dead. He's already been dead. The film even opened up with him going, on September 21st, 1945, I died. So already establishing that our main character is dead. And throughout a good chunk of this movie, you see the ghost of Satsuki and Saito following himself, like he's reliving his memories until his death. Yes, I enjoyed the film. Yes, the film is very great. But the problem is that this little moment takes me out of it because you suddenly remember, oh yeah, our main character's already dead. And we already know that Setsuka's dead long before she died, but that impact is still there. Because I guess kind of in a sense the movie tends to let you forget about it and then remember it later. But you do remember that Saito's dead. So exactly is the film still worth it despite it kind of destroying itself? I think if the film had basically showed us Saito later on in the movie and then came back to it, it would have made the movie even more better because you know that there's going to be this build up. And then when he dies, you can surprise the audience. And there is also something else with this movie that I do not like. And it's a kind of subtle reference but in a way, it's kind of a dumb one to do, which I'm not going to show you the clip of it because you kind of can already seen it coming. Toward the end of the movie, where Saito and Sasuke um, meet up together again on the actual plains, I guess you would say, she laid down on her brother's lap, and Saito mm, looks at the camera at the people at home, and in the background is a different city from the future, as if saying, "You have done this to us in the past. We know that we have. We regret our decisions, but we grew up past those. We are kind of stronger all the more for it. What we did was a mistake. We always talk about how the bomb dropping on Hiroshima was that of a mistake. We wanted to show this small country that we were more powerful, but in the end, what we really caused was a whole lot of fear, devastation, and what the hell did we just do because their blood was on our hands at the moment that we decided to drop the bomb. Even Franklin Delano Roosevelt had admitted back in the past that this was a mistake that he never wanted to see happen, and that it's a mistake that America should never repeat again. And thankfully, 80 years later, we have not repeated that same mistake, and I hope that we never do. Grave of the Fireflies is just a great movie. Yeah, it's hindered. It is nowhere near perfect, but it's still enjoyable. It is a great, amazing movie, and the fact is that this is such a dark animated movie that is rated. I have an unrated version. I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure this version is either rated G or PG, and it's like, wow, with everything that happened to it, wow, just wow. I recommend getting, if you can, like the special edition or even the Blu-ray DVD combo disc, as it has both an interview with Roger Ebert, who really loved this film, and this film was one of his all-time favorite films ever made, and as well as the director. Grave of the Fireflies is just a wonderful, perfect, almost perfect movie, and really had that hint of what in the hell happened moment. But it also is a piece of magic from Studio Ghibli, and that is why my Funko Pop rating of Grave of the Fireflies is going to be a magic, because even though that this is one of the darkest films that I have ever seen, animated wise, next to Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, um, it's still one of the most beautifully put together movie, handcrafted movie from a story that is like centuries years old by this point. So my Funko Pop rating of Grave of the Fireflies is going to be a magic. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time we can upload, and follow me at Twitter with the link in the description down below. And tell me what you thought about Grave of the Fireflies if you have seen it or not yet. I hope that I have enticed you with my steel book that looks better in the light than it does in the dark. And also, if you have seen Grave of the Fireflies, let me know your own personal opinions in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. I believe Universe, have what nerdy cute you can on, and until next time, guys, and as always, take care.